to go. Right, okay, so first of all, let me introduce myself for those that don't know who I am. My name is Mr. Glover. Now, I'm sure many of your children will have said to you, he's my DT teacher, or he taught DT. I actually do a little bit more than that. I'm assistant principal at the school, and I'm in charge of exams, achievement, and data. At which point, whenever I tell the students that, they always kind of look at me like this, because they either know me from teaching DT or that guy that comes in and hands out certificates to them in the mornings. But I've got many responsibilities here, and one of those is those 4 lovely letters up there, GCSEs. And what's really strange is I taught many of you at Key Stage 3, and please come in, and it just seems like a lifetime ago now, doesn't it? When we're back in year 7 and year 8, and those 4 little letters seem like such a long time away, but here we are. Time absolutely flies by. Now, what the purpose this evening is the purpose is for me to try and explain the jump, okay? Because there is a jump from year 9 to year 10, and the expectations that goes with that. So hopefully leaving tonight, you should have an understanding of exactly what we expect and what we want and what the 2-year journey is going to be like. So let's make a start. We're going to start off talking about, my clicker going to work? It was working earlier. We'll just do it off here, that's fine. Or not. Always a good start. There we go. We're going to start off with talking about mental health. Okay, now I think this is really, really, really important to talk about, especially given the 2 years that we've had. Alright? One thing that has really been brought to life with the pandemic is the mental health of students and their well-being, and the pressures that they're under. Now, it's really, really right that many people feel quite nervous about the journey ahead, especially given essentially you've had 9 months out of school. All right, we say at Rushmede that your GCSE journey starts in year 7. I'm sure you remember Miss Kader saying that to you, that your journey started the moment you started the school. Well, first of all, the one thing that I want to say is actually stress is normal. Okay, it is normal. It's normal to feel anxious, and it's normal to feel worried about something. It shows you care a lot of the time. All right, I get nervous before I come and stand in front of people and talk to people. It's nervous. It's normal. There we go. So what we want to do is want to teach you how to manage that. Okay, how to make sure it doesn't escalate, because that's the big problem, when these things escalate. And I've seen too often students let that escalate, let the stress, let the anxiety take over, and it becomes a big problem, and we don't want that. Hopefully by now, you know, having sent your children here for 3 years, that we only want the best for your children. And we don't want them in these 2 very important years ending up anxious, worried, and concerned. So, first message is actually, it's really, really simple. The best way to manage stress is to be prepared, to be ready, to have a plan, to be set. What you find is the students that are the most stressed are the ones that leave it to the last minute, that suddenly find themselves in Easter of year 11, the exams right on the horizon, and they don't feel they've done enough. And that's the worst feeling. I can tell you, speaking from experience here, okay, from when I was in year 11, if you're looking back and you're thinking about everything you could have done, that's awful, because you can't do anything about it. There's nothing you can do. That time has gone. So what we say is start preparing now. Now, I'm looking at faces in this room, and I know there's a lot of students in here that already work extremely hard and engage in lessons. That's the first thing that you can do. We have absolutely outstanding teachers here. Absolutely outstanding. And their lessons will help you greatly. So be involved, work hard. Then revising. Now this is a key word, revision. And we're going to train you on exactly how to do it. Okay, when I was at school, we were told go off and revise. But what does revising actually mean? How do you revise effectively? What does that look like? When I was at school, we used to have something called study leave. Okay, so it seemed like revision was this big thing that took so much time that you couldn't be at school. Well, that's not actually the case. And hopefully what I'm going to do is explain to you how you can start revising now, but it's not this big time-consuming thing. So this is the first way that you can manage stress. You can be prepared. The next thing is we're here for you. And actually, if you find yourself getting a little bit worried, getting a little bit nervous, and you feel like things are getting on top of you, there's so much support here, and we are here to support you. First of all, you have your tutor. You have your tutor. Now, Year 10 tutors, I think, are some of the best. Okay, I go into Year 10 form rooms a lot, and I think you all have absolutely fantastic tutors, and the key thing is they are all here for you. Then you have your year team. Again, the Year 10 year team, if I'm being biased, I think is one of the best. Mrs. Sadiq, okay, Miss Jones and Miss Aylmer. Fantastic individuals who work so hard and really, really are there for you. If you have to go into the Year 10 office, it's so welcoming, so warm, so friendly, and they want to support you. Teachers. Every single teacher here wants to help you. Every single teacher here can help you. And then finally, you have the senior leadership team that I'm honoured to be part of. Okay, our new principal, Mrs. Stoneman, Miss Barwell, Mr. Granger, myself, Miss Muggleston, Miss Bland, all of us are here, Miss Thankey, all of us are here to support you. And if we can do anything to help you, we will. Then finally, sometimes having that face-to-face conversation can be a little bit scary. And I say scary, I don't mean like, whoa, like this, but the thought of it can make you even more anxious. Going to somebody and saying, I'm struggling, that actually takes a lot of energy, a lot of thought. It takes a lot of guts to do that. And sometimes it's a lot easier to do that typing, or to not look at the person. In which case we created safe@rushy-tmet.uk. This is an email address that goes straight to people that can help. It's not broadcast anywhere, it's a very safe space. That's why we call it safe. So that you can reach out to us and we can help you. So message number 2 for managing mental health is we are here for you. We can support you. We have experts in place that can make sure you get the support that you need. Who'd have thought I'd start a presentation about Year 10 with this word relax? So important. And so many people don't know how to relax. They don't know what to do. I love football. Huge football fan. I'm sure many people in here can tell your parents that my team is Liverpool. Now, as a Liverpool supporter, it's been a stressful time, let me tell you. Okay, a stressful time. Even to the point where we finally win the league, and then the season after we have a shocker. Football isn't my relax time. It's not. Especially if it's a Man United Liverpool game. Oh, I can barely sit still and watch it. And it ruins my mood afterwards. If I'm going to relax, the football is not something to have on. That's not what relaxes me. If anything, it gets me more stressed. And then they put Champions League games on a weeknight. I've just had a hard day at work, and then I have to suffer AC Milan coming back and putting us through the mill. Oh, I'm surprised I slept that night. It's knowing how to relax. And then some students say to me they love playing things like Fortnite and Call of Duty. I fail to see how running around shooting people is relaxing. Okay? And I heard things like rage quit. If you're playing a game that gets you so worked up that you break a controller or you have to rage quit, that's not relaxing. Find something that makes you calm, that has inner peace to it. And again, music can play a part of it, but the right music. If you've got music that is aggressive, that is pumping, that's going to get your adrenaline working. If it sounds like it belongs in a gym, it's not relaxing you. Okay, so really, really think carefully about what you do to relax. Sometimes that can just be sat in a room and just sit and watch the world go by. It can be reading a book. It can be exercise. I know that's a good stress relief that I have. Sometimes if I'm having a tough day, I go and exercise afterwards and I feel fantastic as a result. So really think about what helps you relax, what calms you down. Not necessarily what you enjoy, because sometimes we've already said enjoyment can come with extra stress, but what relaxes you. Try and find that out. Bit of homework for you guys. What relaxes you? What a fun bit of homework that is, to find out what exactly calms you down. So, top tips. Okay, be organised. Make sure that you're organised. We want to minimise stress. Every little part of it, even if that's, oh, I forgot my book, I forgot my homework. Okay, that's extra stress you don't need. Make sure you're nice and organised. Plan time to relax and unwind. Make sure that every day you give yourself that time. Parents, I'm sure you've used the phrase, this is my time, this is me time before. I remember my mum saying it well, saying, no, you go and sort that out, I'm having me time. It's really important to have that relaxed time, to have that time that is just for you, that is precious for you, to just help you reset, to be able to manage things better. Talk to somebody. It's very nerve-wracking building yourself up to have that conversation, but you feel so much better after having it. And then plan what you'll do, when you'll do it. A good plan really, really helps put things into perspective. Okay? Right. What a massive part of student stress this was. When we had that announcement that schools closed, I don't think anybody will forget where they were when that happened. Okay? And we didn't know. We didn't know how long it was going to be for. I remember saying goodbye to colleagues in a staff base, saying, I'll see you in a few weeks. And then the months went by. Okay? And yes, social restrictions have dropped, but COVID is still a thing. And it'd be naive of me to turn around and say, everything's back to normal. We're still wearing face masks. There are still hand sanitizing stations around. We still talk about social distancing. We listen to the news. Terrible thing to do is listen to the news. Well, that will frighten you like anything. But if you listen to the news and you hear that figures are going up, we have no idea what is going to happen in the next 6 months. No idea. But I said one way to ease stress is be prepared. And that's exactly what we are. Now, as soon as that happened, we worked really hard. Students, I'm talking to you now. Think about your teachers. I bet they all look like they aged quite a lot in the last 2 years. You can say it now, they're not here. They looked older when you came back, didn't they? And that was because how hard they worked, myself included, by the way. I looked at myself in the mirror this morning and thought, Mr. Glover, what has happened to you? Anyway, it's because how hard we worked. Okay, because we knew that this situation would cause you lot and students stress, and it's our job to be here for you. We are here to support you. So we worked harder than I can remember working before. We adapted our teaching. We made sure that online lessons were as good as they could be. And we had people monitoring that. I remember watching other people's online lessons, giving them feedback on that. You've had teachers come into your lessons to watch you teach before, haven't you? Yes, so you know we do that. We did that online as well. We watched the videos. We gave feedback. We looked at our curriculum. What's best to be taught at home? What topics must be taught? Now, as a DT teacher, it would have been very silly of me to try and carry on teaching practical workshop skills at home. I mean, can you imagine, parents, if I'd have instructed students to go and get some of your hand tools that you have around and start drilling into your worktop or something like this? Not a good idea. So we thought about the curriculum. What's best to teach at home? And then what's best to teach in school? And how can we make it a seamless transition? Now, some of you may have had to isolate during school time, and hopefully you find this seamless transition from the work you get set at home to when you come back to school. That's our aim. And if not, tell me, okay? Because we'll make sure that that is the case. Because we want to make sure that we are prepared so that if things happen again, we're ready and you don't miss out. And that's my promise to you, ladies and gentlemen, that we will make sure that the disruption, should anything happen, is as minimal as possible. So, no need to worry. We'll sort the education part. We'll make sure you still get the best education possible. No learning will be lost. That's our promise to you. So, revision. I spoke about this, didn't I? That lovely word that no one has any idea what it actually involves. So, first of all, this is the science behind it. This is the science behind it. The forgetting curve. I always find this astonishing. I must have delivered the forgetting curve to students. Some of you had this from me, didn't you? In year 7. Got some nodding of head, glad you can remember the presentation. But I must have spoken about this so much, and every time it baffles me. Look at this. I don't know how clear it is. Hopefully you can see it. So, first learn something. You have 100% information. 24 hours later, you've lost 20% of that. That's astonishing. Within 24 hours, you've forgotten 20%. Then, 3 days later, you've lost nearly half of it. That's amazing. In a frightening way. The fact that 24 hours after hearing something. So, this presentation, tomorrow, you'll have forgotten 20% of it. It's a good job it's being filmed, isn't it? Okay? Now, what's key is to refresh yourself. Refresh your memory. So, if you enjoyed tonight so much and you thought, there's nothing good on Netflix at the moment, you can watch it again and refresh your memory. Pick up where you left off. Get that 20% back. And that's what's key. That is the key thing with revision. It's all about refreshing your memory. So, repetition is key. I've heard this quite a few times, and some of you may have already said it. Sir, we've done this. Good. That's the plan. That's the plan. And why are we doing it again? Because you've forgotten at least 20% of it. Okay, how long was the lesson ago? A month ago. All right, so you're probably on about 10% of what you remembered. So we're doing that on purpose. I always find that quite funny when a student turns around and says, so we've done this. I know, there's the reason, that's why. So we've actually planned it into our curriculum. We know exactly when we're going to teach you things again. We know exactly we're going to pick them up again. And yes, we are going to repeat ourselves. Yes, we are going to repeat ourselves. Yes, we are. It's getting annoying now. Okay? We've planned it. We've planned it perfectly, some may say, to make sure that you revisit a topic again and again and again, thinking about that forgetting curve, refreshing your memory. We can't do it on a daily basis. I'm not sure any of you in here would sign up for all of your lessons in one day and then all of them again the next day. I'm not signing up for that, okay? We're in school for long enough. We're not spending all the time here. But we've planned it so that when we think you're getting a bit low, when we think you might be forgetting most of it, we'll drop it in again and bring you back up to 100%. But what you'll have noticed about the forgetting curve is the more you repeat it, the longer it takes you to forget it. So actually, if we look at the second strand on here, after you visit it again 24 hours later, it takes you double the time to forget it. So if you watch the video tomorrow, you don't have to watch it until Sunday. Winner! I mean, you can watch it on Saturday as well if you want, but I'll leave that up to you. Anyway, so repetition is absolutely key. It's so important that we keep repeating everything. So we're going to. You're going to have the same topics that you've had over and over and over again, and it's not because we've run out of things to teach you, it's not because we don't know what we're doing, it's quite the opposite, because we know exactly what we're doing. So if you recognise something, you can now sit there all smug in your lessons and go, oh, I know, yeah, sir, miss, I know what you're doing here. Forgetting curve, yep, exactly. That's what we're here to do. Right. Anyone that knows me and knows my presentations knows I like a bit of audience interaction. Oh, how much do you want to run out the doors now? Okay? It's, 6:30 and we need a little bit of energy in the room. So, we're going to take a topic. Now, I spoke to Mr. Stopp in science and I got him to give me a topic. I said, Mr. Stopp, I want something that Year 11s need to know in science. Let's see what he gave me. Are you ready? Look at you all, so excited. Specific heat capacity. Hands up if you know it. We'll find out soon enough. Now, when he gave me this, I thought, thank you very much, Mr. Stopp. I've asked for something to talk about in this presentation, and this is what you give me. Brilliant. I was hoping he'd give me some form of physics. Please come in, ladies and gentlemen, please come in. I was hoping he'd give me some form of physics, because I did A-level physics. It was a long time ago, but I might be able to pick up something from it, but no. He gave me specific heat capacity. Right, so let's have a look. Let's pretend we are Rushmede students. Well, some of you are, so that's going to be easy to pretend. But the rest of us are going to pretend we're Rushmede students. We've had a science lesson with Mr. Stopp. And this is what we've made notes on. Specific heat capacity. Right. If I told you to revise that right now, what are you going to do? You're going to read through it. Okay, so we're going to read through it. And there's going to be a test in a minute. Oh, look how excited you are. Just out of interest, has anyone stopped reading yet? I know people have stopped reading because I stopped reading. I looked at that and did anyone's heart sink a little bit? Did anyone look at that and think, you've actually dragged me out on my Thursday night and you're getting me to read all of that? I signed up to sit here and listen, not to read an essay. Right. Hands up who didn't make it past the first paragraph. Hands up who didn't make it past the second paragraph. Hands up who made it all the way through. Oh, you liars, put your hands down. You didn't read it properly. You didn't read it properly. No chance.
We'll be tested tomorrow.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, what I should have done is kept those people's those hands up and said, go on then, tell me all about it. Missed an opportunity there, didn't I? Right. So, that's horrible. Don't get me wrong, it's a great lesson. If I saw my children writing that down in their books, I'd be like, wow, I'd be so impressed. Like, you've had a good day at school, haven't you? But if I told them to read it, that's quite harsh. If I then said, go on then, Mr. Glover said about 1 day forgetting curve, off you go. I mean, there's a lot of me time you'd get right there, isn't it? How long it'd take them to read that. But they're going to switch off. And we, as adults, we can't do that, so it's unfair that we ask you guys to do that. So, the best thing to do is break it down. So, exactly, that's the face that you would have if I had told you to read all that, and I recognise that, and some of you went right there. Not quite as yellow, but still. Anyway, let's break it down. The definition. Let's take the definition, just that one chunk. Now, this is easy, okay? This is easy. So, the heat required to raise the temperature of the unit mass of a given substance by 1 degree. Did you know it? Liars. Anyway, the heat required to raise the temperature, you can tell I actually haven't revised this beforehand because I need to read this myself. The heat required to raise the temperature of the unit mass of a given substance by 1 degree. Let's say it together, ready? The heat required to raise the temperature of the unit mass of a given substance by 1 degree. Again, the heat required to raise the temperature of the unit mass of a given substance by 1 degree. Again. Stop and see if you're actually good. One more time. The heat required to raise the temperature of the unit mass of a given substance by 1 degree. Go. Yes! We got there! I don't know if you heard it, but we got there. We'll take that as a team effort. Now, what you saw is you saw this pop up. Read, repeat, cover, repeat. There's a formula for revision, ladies and gentlemen. There's a formula. So we read it. The heat required to raise the temperature, the unit mass, the given substance by 1 degree. We've read it. We've read it, okay? That's done. What do we then do? We cover it up. The heat required to raise the temperature of the unit mass by 1 degree. Yes! That's learning, ladies and gentlemen. That's learning. Guess what you can do if you really want to learn that definition? Watch the video. So, we've broken that down. We've broken that down. Now, all of a sudden, that doesn't look so scary because horrible. Let's get rid of that. And that still isn't good. That's still a lot. That's okay, but let's get rid of it and let's make it into something we can actually use. Oh, that's better. Oh, that's miles better. We can get rid of all the joining sentences. We don't need the ands and the buts and the ifs, etc. Let's just focus on what we need to know. Units. Joules per kilogram degrees C. Joules per kilogram degrees C. Joules per kilogram degrees C. Joules per, I'm doing this all by myself. Come on, guys. I'm going to test you on this in a minute. Louder. We started well and really tailed off at the end now. I'll let you off, we've had long days. I mean, rush rewards go to some of you for your participation, but whoa, some of you are coasting. You are coasting through this class. So, by repeating that, do you want me really interesting? And I know you're not going to do it, but I'm going to set you to do it anyway. In the car on the way home, just drop that in and say, specific heat capacity. I mean, people are already looking at each other going, no. But anyway, it'd be interesting because we've been repeating it, and notice I've been saying that over and over and over again. It's starting to get into my short-term memory. So that's fine. Joules per kilogram degrees C. That's there, got that. But when I get home, in an hour's time, am I going to be able to remember that? Am I going to be able to walk in and say to my other half, joules per kilogram degrees C, that's the units of specific heat capacity? I mean, not that she'd care, but anyway, that's what I need to do is I need to read that again. So tomorrow, if I look back on this presentation, or watch the see repetition, watch the video, or if I watch the video, I'll be able to refresh my mind. And this could take me twice as long to forget. And I keep coming back to it and keep coming back to it. Does this not sound easy revision? Just repeat. I was hoping for some nods along there and some yeses, but okay. But it's so much easier. And actually what I'm telling you to do is take this and get rid of it. And let's make it nice and easy, nice and simple. Make it nice and easy for us, and then we can read that. Even that is too much. I need to break that down into one little bit of paper that has definition on, one little bit of paper that has units on, one little bit of paper that has the equation on, and read each bit individually. Let's treat it like a jigsaw. Look at each piece individually, and that will form the big picture. So, that is how we revise. That's how we do it. That's the best way to revise. This is key. This is key. Not what she's actually doing, but what it's meaning. Your brain is like a muscle. Okay, your brain is like a muscle. Right now, it needs training. Okay, right now it needs training. Now, I was talking to Mrs. Stoneman about this, and she used the analogy, it's like a marathon. If I suddenly said, right guys, we're going to go and run a marathon right now. Who's with me? Okay. Loving the enthusiasm, people. Anyway, I couldn't do it. I'd make it to the double doors there, and one of you would be sort of wheeling me back in here and just sitting on a seat somewhere and getting my water and going, it's okay. Bit embarrassed for you, but okay. We couldn't do it. We had to train. Okay? Just like you couldn't walk into a gym, pick up the biggest dumbbells and suddenly go, like this. That's not going to happen. You start with the smallest ones and you build it up. So this is going to be hard to begin with. We know that, but when you get yourself trained and ready, your brain will be like a well-oiled machine. You work on it now, and this is the reason why we say start now. Because imagine starting at Easter of year 11 with a brain that isn't used to this. It's not trained, it's not ready. The more you practice retrieving information, bringing it back, units of specific heat capacity. Give yourself a pat on the back. There we go. That's some good retrieval practice. Joules per kilogram degrees C. Well done. That is how we start training our brain. Students, have you walked out of a lesson and your head's felt a bit sore? Good. Shows your brain's been working. Shows your brain's been working. That's the idea. If you walk out of a gym and you're not sore the next day, you haven't worked hard enough. You've spent most of your time on your phone or standing there just going, okay? You should be sore. You should be like, like this. Okay? I did a leg day for the first time in months. Yesterday I couldn't walk down the stairs properly. It took me half an hour nearly to get downstairs. Like this. It was horrible. I had people coming up to me at school saying, "Are you okay?" Alright? That's what it should be like. That's what it should be like. And your brain will get better and better the more you work it. This is the big question that we face, because I'm telling you to do revision. And some of you will be sat there and you'll be thinking, right, sir, come on. We have school. You're not going to give us a day off. Then you have loads of homework. Now you're telling me to do more and relax and go to bed early. Come on, sir. Come on, think about it. Put the maths together. Well, actually, homework and revision go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. You shouldn't have any homework that's set the next day, do you? Is it long homework, or is it like a science quiz? Right, come and talk to me about that, because that shouldn't happen. All right? We rarely, and I put that rarely on this, it's happening all the time, that's a problem. Definitely come and talk to me at that stage. But we don't really say set it for the next day. Okay? And there's a reason for that, because homework is all about the forgetting curve. Think about this. You go home from school. Those few hours have passed. Most students don't do the homework the day it's set. They usually leave it either the day before or the hour before or something like this. But by going back over that topic, do you see where I'm going with this? Yeah, the forgetting curve. So if you don't do the homework the day it's set, do it the next day, for example, there's 24 hours. You've lost your 20%. You have to read it again, back up to 100%. So homework actually works. Homework is actually a bit of revision. Now, yes, I do still want you to read over what you've done in lessons. I do still want you to do all of this. Yes, I do. Okay? I do want you to do that a little bit more. We said that year 10 is a step up from year 9. So in year 9, you did your homework. In year 10, do your homework and a little bit of reading about what you've done. But the thing is, if you do half an hour's reading of what you've done in lessons every day, well, you've got 2 years to your GCSEs. That's maths I can't even do, just off the top of my head. 30 minutes times by 2 years. How many hours is that going to add up to of revision time? Is anyone going to give that a go? You want to, don't you? I'm impressed. I'm good. Is your brain hurting? Yeah. There we go, right. If you figure it out, let me know. But anyway, so we actually want students to have a chance to forget. So if every piece of homework you're getting is the next day, I need to have a word with your teachers, because that's not what's supposed to be. We want to give you a chance to forget and then refresh your memory with the homework. Okay? So, do your homework first of all, but actually it's not the worst thing if you don't do it the night it's set. If you do it the next day, that works out quite nicely with the forgetting curve. Okay? If you do it the night it's set, you're very well organised, that can relieve a bit of stress. Okay? Because sometimes you don't know what you're going to face each night. Okay? Things might happen. So actually, find that balance. Find that balance. If your plan, if you work best doing it the night it's set, then yes, do it. Hours will have passed since school. You might have got the homework lesson 1. You may have had 4 lessons since then. Hours will have passed. So doing it that night is actually very, very useful. But homework works. And it fits in with the whole spaced learning, which is our forgetting curve, picking things up again after we've learnt them, and then retrieval practice. Practicing remembering. Right, I've said all of these things, and I've said all of this ideal situation, but let's be real about this. Students, do you want to do it? No, okay? And right now you can almost hear everyone that's watched at home, and I know exactly what they're all saying. They're all going, no! And they've probably switched off at this point, okay? You don't want to do it, all right? I'm telling you to do more work. Do you want to do that? No, exactly, okay? So this is the reality. I'm saying all these things, and I'd love it if I saw every one of you students walking out going, I'm going to go and revise. Yes, this is wonderful as you leave. If so, my job is done, thank you very much. But I'm well aware that actually you sat there going, why did I tell my mum to come to this? Why? What? Oh. And you're going to be saying, actually, I don't know who that Mr. Glover is. He's ignoring. He just hands out certificates in form. He's not really important, don't worry. Forget everything you heard. Okay? Definitely don't watch the video again. Delete. But this is the reality. Okay? Now, what's important to the parent, and I'll hope to see parents nodding along here, is qualifications. You'll love your children to get the best qualifications possible, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I was hoping for more nodding. You want to have a really good career? Yes?
Yes.
You want to be happy in their career and to achieve and to succeed and be the best they can be? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fairly obvious. Students, what's important to you? Let's have a look here. This is very important. This is very important. Not to every student, but to some point, this is very, very important. Okay, that fortnight game, that is the day. Okay, that is the thing. That is what you're looking forward to every day. I mean, is there a device that has more importance to a teenager than their phone? You're going to argue? No. This is pretty important too. Very important. I mean, let's face it, even though when Netflix put a series up, they put every episode on, so you don't have to watch them all at once. You do have to watch them all at once, because then when people talk about it at school, they're going to ruin it for you. So this is actually very, very important. Okay? You can't be told what's happened. In fact, you need to be the person telling people what's happened. So you have to be up to date with it. So this is very, very important in the life of a teenager. Need I say any more? Need I say any more? I mean, you might not realise this, students, but your parents were once teenagers, okay? There are just those people when you're a teenager, and the world just seems better when you see them, okay? And that's incredibly important. A relationship to a student, I don't need to say any more about that. But this is what's important. This is what's really important to a teenager. And I'm not saying that teenagers should think more like we do. Okay? That's never going to happen. But what we need to know, and what actually both sides need to know, is where they're coming from. Because actually this middle line here is where we need to get to. Where everyone understands that these things are important. We can't turn around and say to students, you're wasting your time with that games console. It's ridiculous. Get off it. Put that phone down. You don't need it. It's a waste of your time. Because to them it's so important. To them it's so important. But students, you need to understand that to your parents, they honestly just want the best for you. They want to see you succeed. They want to see you do well in life. And it will make them so happy when you do that. When you come out with those GCSE qualifications, some of you have children that are older and have been through that process. I've seen some of your faces before. On results day, the pride that you see from parents, the tears that you see from parents, okay, because you've done it. You've done the first part of everything they want for you. So we all need to find that middle ground where we understand that all of this, everything up here, it is important. It is important. So we need to make sure that we have time for it all. So this is the communication triangle. This is the support triangle. Okay? Students in school, we have a lot of communication, don't we? A lot of it. You'll see my face a lot. Student and parent, I'm sure that's a communication line some of you want to sever at times, but it happens, okay? It's there. This one is massively important, okay? And it's probably one of the most underrated communication tools ever. That's why I say a huge thank you to you all for coming, and a huge thank you to everybody who's watching the video back, because it's all part of this communication. And it's such an important part of this triangle. A triangle is the strongest mathematical shape. Yes? Yes? I've got that right? Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, and we need that triangle to be complete. So actually, parents, we're going to have nights like this. We're going to tell you what we're doing, okay, and why we're doing it. And we need you to follow that through, to support us with that. And likewise, if you come to us and you say that your child's not doing this and this isn't happening, you want our help, we'll help you. And that support is there. So basically, kids, you can't get away with anything. So don't try it. Now, this scene looks familiar, doesn't it? I'm glad you're shaking your head, okay? I'm glad you're shaking your head. Now, we're nagging because we want the best for you. Because all the way back here, this is what we're trying to push. This is the agenda we're trying to push. This is what we want, and that's why we're nagging. We understand that at the moment, it's a big, big ask for a 14, 15, 16-year-old to see that bigger picture. It's a really big ask. Some of you in here, I know some of you, and you are really mature, and you do have that big picture, which is absolutely fantastic. But for some of you, we understand. I remember being in that shoe, these shoes. That'll take care of itself later. That's grown-up stuff. This is where we're coming from. So actually, when your parents are nagging you and doing this, and I'm going to want them to keep reminding you about everything you've heard today, forgetting curve and everything. We need to make sure we're remembering it. So tomorrow, tell them all about it again. Make them sit and watch the video. All right? Can I just assure you, this is not like YouTube likes. I know I keep trying to push this video. This isn't trying to push my social media platform or anything like this. This is just to help. But anyway, so keep reminding them. Yes, I'm actually telling your parents to keep nagging you. It works, it's good. Okay, I'm sure my mum would say that was the only tool she had in the fight to get me to do what I need to do. But it does work, and they are just trying to help you see that bigger picture. Now, we recognise what you need as well. I said Netflix, games console, everything is important. So, let's find that middle line. Now, this is where you can have that conversation. Parents, you say what you want. You say what you want. So, what do you want? You want them to do all their homework. You want them to do some revision. You want them to work hard at school. Nice and easy, those three things. You can maybe throw in do the dishes as well if you want. Okay? Students, what do you want? You want time on your phone. You want to be left alone sometimes. Okay? You want time on your games console. Imagine a day that was your day where you could do that all. That sounds good, doesn't it? Okay? So, let's come to an arrangement. So, if, and this is a contract you can write up, if they get in from school and they do all their homework, and they revise, and they do the dishes, Okay? Then they get Saturday as their day. No nagging. No nagging. Their day. They can wake up whatever time they want. They can spend it however they want. Maybe even a takeaway at night or something like this. Or they get to pick what food they have. Something special like this. And you sign the contract. Now, the timings of it, again, can be negotiable. Parents, I'm sure you'd love them to get in from school and start work straight away. Now, some people work like that. Me, I like to get all of my work done and then finish. Some people like to stop and they need that rest time. They need that hour just to go and recharge their brain. So if your child doesn't know what they like best, you probably know what works best for them. Okay, so come up with times. Say, right, you get in from school at 3:30. I know you need your rest, so have a rest until 4:30. Then go and start your homework. Dinner will be ready about 6. Homework should be near enough done by then, but let's just say have your dinner at 6 till 7. 7 you go back and finish your homework and do some revision, and they should all be done by 8 o'clock. Okay, and if that's all done, you've met the terms of the contract. So if you do that for 5 days, weekend's yours. Now imagine, students, imagine that Saturday and maybe a Sunday. I mean, you can negotiate this as well. Imagine that's weekend, just bliss. Imagine no knocking on the door. Why aren't you up yet? Okay, imagine that I'm going to unplug the internet, I'm going to do it. Okay, imagine that it's past your bedtime. Okay, imagine that all gone for a day. Sounds good, doesn't it? Okay, but you've got to give something in return. Now, parents, this is very, very useful. Okay, phones are fantastic. They really, really are good, but your children might need a little bit of help getting over their addiction. All right? There are apps you can use to control phones. Now, I don't mean spy on them. I don't mean that you're going to start reading their messages. You're not going to run downstairs and say, who is this? Why are you texting them? Anything like this. But actually, there's a lovely little device that can just disable Wi-Fi so that if they're having that little bit of problem getting down and concentrating, you on your phone can just press that magic little button and their Wi-Fi is disabled. And you have the power to turn it back on again. So if your child needs that extra little push, get something like this. And again, write this into the contract. That if they don't start work by, so what did we say? 4:30. If they don't start work by 5, you're pressing that button and you're not taking that off until the next day. Okay? And it's going to be disabled. And they don't get the Saturday they had planned. So you can throw all this in. You have the power in this respect. And you can talk to us. You can talk to us. You can say to us, can you help us with this? Can you help us with that? Of course we will. We'll support you as much as possible. With the mobile phone ban that's in place, we've actually had parents ring up saying, can you keep it for a bit longer? Yeah, that's fine. With your permission, we can do that. Okay, so, like I said, we can help. And students, it's only because we love you. Okay, it's only because we want the best for you. But actually, this is a really good system. And actually, it's a very mature system. You both are coming at it from different angles, but you want the same thing. So let's make everybody happy with this. Let's have this arrangement in place. This is absolutely key. Be transparent. With everything, it's so important to explain why you're doing it. So right now, I've explained exactly why we're here. You know we're here to teach you how to revise, to make sure that you're prepared, okay? To help you understand the jump from year 9 to year 10. Let's be transparent. If you're going to put that app on their phone, you don't just grab their phone, take it off, put it back, done. Okay? You explain why. You explain why. Students, explain why. Why does that need to happen? Why do you need to go on Netflix at this particular moment? Okay, let's have this understanding. Let's be transparent about this. Why is this important? Because actually, if we talk about it and we keep nice and calm, I know that's easier said than done, but if we keep nice and calm and we're just completely transparent about the whole process, all that stress. I mean, imagine a night of stress over something like this. Not needed. Not needed. It's something you don't need. With exams on the horizon, we don't need any of that. So let's be nice, clear, and transparent and take that away. We're going to be transparent with you. You're going to get letters home that's going to tell you exactly what we're doing, why we're doing it. You're going to have nights like this, what we're doing, why we're doing it, etc. Transparency is the key. So, top tips, ladies and gentlemen. My top tips for success. First of all, sleep. This is another great thing about that app. How many times do I hear kids saying they've gone to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning? Turn that Wi-Fi off. Take that phone away. You need 8 to 10 hours sleep. You are growing from children into adults. You need 8 to 10 hours sleep. So think about what time you need to get up. If that's 7 o'clock, okay, if that's 7 o'clock, you need 8 to 10 hours. So work that out. Yes, have a bedtime. Make sure that's set in place. And your phone should be off. And you shouldn't be watching TV. You shouldn't have any of that half an hour before you go to bed. Because right now, are all of your eyes feeling a little bit heavy? Yeah, anyone's eyes feeling a bit heavy? Now, I'm hoping it's not because I'm boring the life out of you, but you're watching a screen. Did you know, little fun fact for you, Mr. Glover's fun fact of the day. This fun fact for you, that screen is refreshing faster than I can click my fingers. And your brain is processing that. It's doing it in your subconscious, so you don't see it, don't know it, but your brain is working. It's taking in every refresh. It's all right for me, I'm not looking at a screen, I'm fine, I'm just looking at you guys, okay? So I feel wide awake. But for you, you're watching that screen. So if you're having a screen and then try and go to sleep, your brain's wired, your brain is it's like this. So you're not going to get to sleep. Then add the fact that your phone's probably right next to you. So if it vibrates, if it goes off, if it lights up, what's happened? Okay, and that's going to wake you up as well. So, off and away. Not just in school, but before you go to bed. Half an hour before you go to sleep. No screen, no phone. Honestly, you'll have the best night's sleep you had. Okay, have the phone away from you. Because your mind needs to rest. I said about relaxing, didn't I? Your mind needs to rest. So turn it off, put it away. Half an hour before you go to bed. Yes, students, I know you don't want to do it, but it is a really good top tip. Diet is massively important. Massively important. Question. Hands up, anybody here has had a takeaway and then after they've eaten it, they've just felt so tired. I mean, you're not having the right takeaways if you've not experienced that. I mean, in my house, we go to town with a takeaway. Pizza, garlic bread, chicken nuggets, all of this sort of stuff. And you just sit on the sofa afterwards and just, oh, I'll talk to you in a minute. Oh. Okay? But, unhealthy food, okay? Heavy saturated fats. Your body struggles to digest them. Literally, when you have high saturated fat foods, your body doesn't really know what to do with it. It's like alarm bells start going off all over your body. It has to work so hard to digest it. It's like your body running a marathon inside. And then it's tired afterwards. It's working so hard to break down those saturated fats and complex carbs. That's why you feel tired and lethargic afterwards. So imagine if you had that for your dinner at 6 o'clock and then your parents tell you to go and do homework afterwards. No chance. That's why my takeaway night's Saturday night, because there's no work to be done, so it's all right. If I fall asleep on the sofa, that's fine. Okay? So have a good diet. Lots of fruit, lots of veg. Okay, it's going to refresh your body, going to give you the energy that you need, but that good detox inside. Honestly, healthy diet, best thing you can do. Exercise. Exercise gets endorphins up. Okay, let's be a PE teacher for a second. The more you exercise, the endorphins, the feel-good feeling that you get afterwards, it's going to help make you feel less stressed. It's going to make you feel happy. You're going to feel good about it afterwards. Are you going to hate it during? Yes. Okay, during lockdown we had our hours exercise a day. All remember that? Oh, you should have done. Going for that run. when I got halfway, and I don't like running, because you run all this way away, and you know you've got to come back. And you know you're not even halfway, and there's a big hill somewhere, and you're there like, oh my God, I've got to do this all again. But afterwards, you feel great. It's really weird, because afterwards, once the puffing and panting stops, you're like, yeah, I'm awake, I'm alert, I'm good, because the endorphins have kicked in. So exercise is really important. Find exercise you like. If you want to lift some weights, go lift some weights, do that. If you want to go for a run, do that. We've got so many extracurricular clubs. PE offers so much. I've seen like a dodgeball club going on. They never had that when I was at school. This is amazing. Okay? Especially if there's someone you're not quite keen on the other team, you know. Have that. But anyway, all these clubs, go and get involved. Go and get involved. Go and get this exercise. Even go for a walk. I moved to Leicester a year ago, 2 years ago. And actually lockdown for me was great, being able to go and walk around and see everywhere and learn my new city. Okay, walking around Abbey Park. What a great park that is. Okay, and there's so many nice things to go and see. And there's loads of little scenic routes you can take. So go for a nice long walk. Okay, it's nice, it's exercise, and it works. Reading. Yes, we're a reading school. Yes, we promote reading because it's good for you. It exposes you to so much more in terms of English. Okay, and it's not a screen that keeps refreshing. So, try reading. Now, I'm quite picky when it comes to reading. Okay, I'm not one of these people that could just pick up any old book. I'm very fussy. You can probably guess that most of the books I've read involve Liverpool at some form or another. Okay, I'd definitely recommend Kenny Dalglish's book, for those of you that know who he is. Fantastic. Okay, they're currently reading Arsene Wenger though at the moment. That's not too bad. But anyway, the Alex Ferguson book was stressful. Don't use that to unwind. There was a chapter just on Liverpool, and I was sat there going, here we go. Okay, so yeah, pick and choose your books. But think, okay, and they're actually really enjoyable. Really enjoyable. Find something you're interested in and read more about it. And then knowing what to relax. That was my unofficial homework to you all, wasn't it? To find out what relaxes you, what calms you down. It might be a video that you really enjoyed being there live, and that might calm you down. Who knows? But anyway, find something that relaxes you, that calms you down. You do that, ladies and gentlemen. Let us take care of the learning, the curriculum, the teaching. We've got that. Okay, we'll do that. You take care of yourselves. Make sure you look after yourselves, healthy body, healthy mind, and start revising. Do your homework, start revising, and have fun coming up with that contract. Right, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm looking at time, I believe that's nearly bang on 7. Thank you ever so much for coming. I really appreciate you coming out tonight to be with me, to hear everything I've got to say. If you have any questions, you can send the students and ask me. That's fine. My office is upstairs in C block, C121. Your all form rooms are in C block. If you go past the disabled toilet opposite C5 and you get there, then that's where I am. I'm tucked around the corner. So come and see me, ask me, I can give you some help. Parents, feel free. You can phone me from school reception. They'll put you through to my extension number, or drop me an email, aglover@rushy-tmet.uk. Please, I'd love to answer any questions and support you, because we are that triangle. We are that supportive triangle, and we are the Rushy family, as we keep saying, and we are here to support each other. So, have a safe trip home, have a lovely evening, and thank you ever so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you very much.